treatment on. So the majority of people that I see in my clinic, and by the way, in my clinic, I rarely see anybody who's well. Almost everybody that comes to see me has been sick for 5 to 15 years and can't figure out what's wrong. So that's the group of people I normally see. But here is characteristic of most of the people I see. First of all, they have trouble with insomnia. Next, they have trouble dealing with stress. Next, they have trouble with their memory. And then they can't multitask. So you're sitting reading a book and somebody says, hey, do you want mustard or mayonnaise? You become annoyed because they interrupted you. But you don't have enough mental horsepower to stay attached to your book and make the decision, so you detach. You pick mustard, you go back to your book and you can't remember your place, and now you're really annoyed. And then you can't stand stimulus. So you don't like loud noises, loud music, rowdy crowds. You can't be around people who are arguing. And eventually, you don't even want to be touched. You just want to sit in a corner and have people leave you the heck alone. And then your sexual equipment quits working. And then you can't go to sleep before 11. And when you wake up, you're still tired. That whole syndrome that I just described will resonate with probably the majority of people in this room, at least to some degree. It's a slippery slope, and most people are somewhere on that slope. Now, the problem with having lack of adrenaline, which is the cause of all of that, is that it destroys your life. If every time somebody wants to interact with you, you are grumpy and to the place of anger, they don't want to have anything to do with you. If you don't like to be touched, if your sexual equipment doesn't work, it's very difficult to be a good spouse, isn't it? If every time somebody wants to talk to you, you brush them off, it's hard to be a good friend or a worker, isn't it? And by the way, those of us who are parents recognize that perhaps the best definition I've ever heard of a boy is a noise with dirt on it. And of course, kids are always mommy, 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 or daddy, 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 right? If you don't have adrenaline, you can't deal with that. No matter how much you love the kids, you can't deal with that, so you brush them away, and that destroys that relationship. So what I'm trying to explain to you is you must come to realize that most of people's lives who end up in divorce, who end up with kids and their parents who can't get along, who end up with people on drugs because they can't quite cope any other way, almost all of these people have lack of adrenaline. Now, to make adrenaline requires vitamin C, vitamin B6, thiamine, and the voltage to make the adrenals work. Now, I put together this supplement that has exactly those things in it, and I can tell you that it helps a little bit, but not a lot. And the reason is that it doesn't help a lot is that even if the body has the nutrients to make something, unless the organ that uses those nutrients has the voltage to do it, it still doesn't work, right? So not only do you have to give these supplements, but you have to correct the voltage in the spleen acupuncture muscle battery pack, because that's a battery pack for the adrenals. Now, again, to understand these battery packs, here in the spleen meridian, you know, it started in the toe, goes up to the female genitalia, comes around to the back, and here, of course, is where